Billy Butler.
Country breakfast.
Wow, okay.
Take two.
Who also played third base early in his Royals career.
Also a DH when he got
That's
called
right.
up.
Baseball America's Teddy Cahill joining us right now. And you can jump right into this conversation if you'd like, Teddy. We just went over two very notable college names from the past season. Tommy White, taken by the A's. Brody Breck, taken by the Rockies. Your thoughts on those two? And then we'll go earlier in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Tanks guy. Like, nobody has hit more home runs in college baseball in the 21st century than Tommy White. Just an incredibly consistent and productive power hitter. We'll see how that all translates, but I actually think he has one of the knocks on him is that there's some swing and miss in there, and like how pure is the hit tool, but I mean, the consistency with which he attacked college baseball was really impressive. He really has, going back to when he was a high schooler, just the intensity with which he wants to hit and the way he attacks the baseball. Like, I think it's outstanding and it rises to all the moments. Like, I really think that's a guy that, if you're getting him at the start of the second round, I think you can feel really good about that. Brody Brecht, I know JJ, hit on that really well. That's been a player JJ has, that kind of fits the JJ really well in terms of, analyzing and figuring out where that fits. But, Iowa, he comes from Iowa. He played a lot of football. He did quit playing football at one point in college. So, how much, that certainly helped, but how much did that hold him back just playing all of that football? Obviously it's good for you. But just in terms of the polish and everything, I do think there are more strides to be made. He has to make those strides in pro ball, obviously, but I do think there's hope for him to be able to make some of the necessary improvements.
All right, Teddy, where did Tommy White go to high school?
Somewhere in Florida. That's all I got on that.
Okay, great answer. I'm just going to ask Kratz how many Pennsylvania kids have been drafted so far, because there's a long list of Florida kids that keeps popping up. I'm confused.
Yeah, that's what the draft is. Potential and overratedness.
Well, JJ Weatherholt is a Pennsylvania kid, so
yeah, there's one. There you go. They got one.
Although West Virginia is going to be like, wait.
Yeah.
We're claiming we do not.
He's
get
from Mars,
to do this
Pennsylvania. Let's not erase Mars, Pennsylvania. Like, great draft moment right there.
So, Teddy, let's rewind a little bit earlier in this draft. It's a very college-heavy first round. Who's kind of the Teddy Cahill? You've seen this class. You've seen these players going back to writing recruiting rankings about a lot of them several years ago when they're coming out of high school. But who's someone who jumps out to you as like, hey, I really think that this guy is someone to keep an eye on. He's going to be maybe even a little bit better than we expect.
I mean, like I just mentioned him. I keep bringing him up. Like, I love JJ Weatherholt. Like, for him to go to the Cardinals at 7, I think that's a fantastic value. I think that, if he hadn't gotten hurt, there's no reason why we would have been talking about him falling out of the top 2 or 3 picks, potentially going first overall as he was rated coming into the season. I understand there are some concerns about multiple hamstring injuries, like what happens, if that's a more of a concern rather than just 2 isolated incidents. But assuming that, that risk can be mitigated or, it's not a problem, I think that he's a guy that really has an incredible tool set, led the nation in hitting a year ago, stole 36 bases, hit 16 home runs, has a chance at least to play shortstop. We'll see if he actually sticks there, but at least has that chance. To me, that's a absolute, I don't want to say an absolute steal. It's just a really good pick for the Cardinals at 7.
Teddy, the other question I want to ask you is we had a couple of guys. Owen Pano pulled out. William Schmidt basically said, don't draft me, I'm going to LSU. We're seeing, we've always seen some of this, but is it becoming more prevalent because of the environment we're in now, or is it more of kind of, this is the same old of what we've seen? Because we did see guys going back to, we even had Josh Bell saying, please don't draft me. Okay, I will go if you want to pay me $5 million.
$5 million will do it.
I think that it's relatively normal. William Schmidt pulling out is abnormal. I will say that. The top prep righty pulling out, that feels very abnormal. But Payno's a guy that, at least on our rankings, is like 87th, I think it is. I think if you look at other boards, you'll find him similarly ranked. So that's a guy that would be valued, according to that, somewhere in the third round. And he probably wants top 50 pick, let's just say, probably, to buy him out of his commitment. He hears, well, that's probably not going to happen. And so he pulls out. Charlie Bates at Stanford, probably a pretty similar thing right there. Both Schmidt and Bates are local. Schmidt in Baton Rouge, Bates in Palo Alto. So I think some of that's relatively normal. What I do find to be different is William Schmidt just being as good as he is, not waiting to find out, like, is somebody willing to take me? That's a demographic, high school right-handed pitchers that Major League Baseball teams have really like steered away from. There are some teams that just flat out won't touch that in the first round. And so I think that kind of has helped steer a guy like that to college. But, obviously there are a lot of factors there. But like you said, JJ, we see this every year to a certain extent. There are a couple guys, at least, that officially withdraw from the draft.
Last one for you, Teddy. Who's your favorite player? I mean, and you can go towards the top, obviously. Condon went 3. Some people thought you should have gone 1 if all is equal, but anywhere on the board, who's your favorite player? Like, who do you think will have the best major league career, especially on the college side, which is easy for you to hit this year since that was the focus?
Yeah, I mean, that's really tough. Like, I just want to go back and talk about JJ Weatherholt again. I'll step away from that, and I will say that Travis Bazzana is an incredible talent. I think that some of the reasons I preferred Weatherholt to Bazzana are just like, I felt like Weatherholt at least had a shot to play shortstop, whereas Bazzana flat out does not. But if you just look at the hitter that the Guardians selected first overall, and they find a spot for him on the field, and I will be very curious to see where that is, given their infield logjam and the fact that they signed a second baseman to a $100 million contract like 2 years ago. Where does he fit? I don't really know, but the combination of feel for hitting, of power, of speed, like, that's all legit, and he is like crazy in the best possible way, just in terms of how he wants to improve and how dedicated he is. He's a psychology major, I believe it is, at Oregon State. I'd have to check my notes to find the exact major, but I think it's psychology. And he says that he did that because he thought that would be most useful for him in his baseball career, that after his baseball career, he'll figure out what he wants to do and go attack learning how to do that. But for now, he wanted to learn the mental side of the game better and how he could relate to his teammates better. And so that was what he wanted to focus on while he was at Oregon State.
A great insight as always. Thanks for the time, Teddy. Enjoy the rest of the draft, and we'll catch you soon on another edition of Hot Sheet, all right?
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. That's Teddy Cahill. Watch his and follow his coverage over at Baseball America. Get yourself a Baseball America subscription and come right back to FT. Ruben Amaro, former GM, joining us next.